Okay, thank you everyone for coming to our Tuesday night shiur. And it's also a yard site of my great-grandfather, Tzion ben Rivka, and of my grandfather, Meir ben Mazal, who was also my sanvet. May Hashem rest their souls in peace and give them a menucha in Gan Eden.
Amen.
We know in the book of the Rabbi Yehuda Ftayeh, Minchat Yehuda, which is the Musar book of all generations. And with this book, Rabbi Yehuda Ftayeh etched his name into eternal history. He writes over there that people think that you go to shul once a year, you say Kaddish, okay, best case scenario, you start from the Shabbat before. There's different minhagim, by the way. Some start that week from Sunday, some start from the Shabbat before, some do only that day. So people think just because they're going to say Kaddish for 1 week, or from the Shabbat before, or on that day, or they give a couple of books to the shul, or they go up to Maftir and Mashlim and they say Kaddish, suddenly Hashem is going to forgive all the Chilul Shabbats, and all the Gilui Arayot, and all the Shpichut Damim, and whatever the lack of kashrut. Doesn't work like that. Yesh din ve'yesh dayan. Rabbi Yehuda Ftayeh writes in Minchat Yehuda, he says, not only does it not forgive, but even if you say that it would forgive, people don't even know how to say Kaddish properly today. Yit Gadal turned into Yit Katal. Yit Gadash, you turn into Yit Katash. Shmeh turned into Shmeh. The Aleph turns into the Haze. The Gimel turned into a Kuf. By the time your tefillah gets up to Shamayim, already nobody understands what you're saying. It's like you're speaking Chinese. It doesn't mean that Hashem doesn't know what you're saying. Of course Hashem knows, but Hashem put a nature in this world. Even in the Olamot Elyonim, there is a nature. And we have to follow that nature. Unless you're a tzaddik, where you could go above nature. How do you reach that level of going above nature? I want to tell you something, a chidush, but it's not my chidush, I'm not going to lie to you. I heard this in the shiur when I was single, almost 7 years ago for sure. It was right before Pesach, and I heard this chidush from a very, very famous speaker. And I'm going to tell you guys a secret right now, and I'm going to let you know one thing. Haman, when he picked Adar to be the month to annihilate the Jews, the month, when I say the month, I mean he specifically, we think he threw a pur is a lottery. He specifically made sure Adar would come out. How do we know that? The Midrash says he looked at the month of Tishrei, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippurim, Sukkot. He said, it's not going to work out. Cheshvan is too dark. And there is a rule in life. Where it's too dark, it's going to be good. Because right before the sunrise is the most pitch black. I'm not going to go with too dark. Too dark is no good. Cheshvan doesn't work. And really the Midrash says, in the future, Cheshvan, the month of Cheshvan, it's going to be the month of the Chanukat Beit HaMikdash Shlishi. It's going to be the inauguration of the third Beit HaMikdash. In fact, the month of Cheshvan has 2 vavs inside. It's a very powerful month. Next month he went, what? Kislev, Chanukah. It's not going to work out. There's something, he saw there's some, Chanukah didn't happen yet, but he saw something special was going to happen there. His wife Zeresh, obviously it's the wife again. Some say she was a Gilgul of the wife of Korach, Zeresh. She said, don't mess with Kislev, that's the holiday of lights. You don't need light. Don't mess with lights. We don't need that. Okay, Kislev is no good. After Kislev comes what? Tevet. What do we have in Tevet? Asara b'Tevet. It's a fast day. Let's go with that. It's not gonna work out. In the future, Asara b'Tevet is gonna be what? A holiday. It's not gonna work.
He knew everything.
In fact, Asara b'Tevet is the only other holiday or fast day, which is on the 10th day of the year, of the month, which is the only other one it's like that, Yom Kippur. Asara b'Tevet and Yom Kippur, I'm not going to get into it right now, are very, very similar and have very, very similar powers. We just don't know how to tap into it. He said, no, I'm not going to mess with Asara b'Tevet. Shvat comes along, Tu b'Shvat. Shovavim. Rabbi Gadaev is doing hakafot. We're not going to mess with that month. There's too much power going on. That's it. Next month, after Shvat comes what? I was joking, by the way. I don't know if you saw Rabbi Gadaev. After that, what came what? After Shvat? Adar. He says, I don't know. We have something very, very special going on over here. The death of Moshe Rabbeinu. I like that, he says. I really like that. Let's go with that. And when the Megillah says he pil pur, what do you mean he pil pur? He did a lottery. He knew exactly what he was doing. He went specifically for that month. He wanted Adar. And I heard a special chidush. Haman learned Kabbalah. From who? From the Kabbalah Center, obviously. So it was not such good Kabbalah. But he learned Kabbalah. Not Kabbalah, Kabbalah. You know, with Madonna. Just kidding. It's a joke here and there. It's humor. Speakers have to have humor. He was learning, and he learned that the name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei, as we see on the wall over there, Hashem Yitbarach, Ein Sof Baruch Hu Mitlabesh B'Sefirotah, Havaya Hashem Baruch Hu. It's four letters, but three different letters. So if you could configure them, pardon me, in how many different configurations? It's going to be 4 times 3 is how much? 12. How many months do we have of the year? 12. We have 12 months of the year. Every month is a different configuration. Wow, even we didn't know that till today. So he said, listen, obviously the most powerful month is the month of Nisan. Why? How do we know what's powerful? If it goes straight. Why straight? Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov are called what? Not tzaddikim, not chasidim, they're called yesharim. It's a different level to be straight. What's a person who's straight? A person who lives on his principles. You could give me $1 billion. If I have a principle, I'm not going to move right or left. This is Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. They have a principle in life. Their souls were not the highest, as the Ari explains in Shar Gilgulim. Moshe was much higher than them. Much higher than them. He was from Radla. You know what Radla is? Nobody even... It's a little, you know...
No Radla.
Okay, no Radla, alright. No Radla. There's no Radla. Okay, we're not going to get there. Okay. But the point is, Moshe Rabbeinu's neshama was so strong. Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov compared to them. But still, Hashem told Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, you are my chosen ones. Not Moshe. Not Moshe. Moshe didn't even have the guts to tell God, put me in Shmona Yisrael. You spoke about Shmona Yisrael. He didn't even have the guts to say it to Hashem. Why? Couple of times Moshe complained too much. Couple of times. He was supposed to do that. David had the guts to ask Hashem, and we know what happened. We don't want to get into that story. Avraham Yitzchak were Yisharim. So what do? How do we tap in that Yashar? Haman said Nisan is Yashar. Yud K, Vav K, it's straight. I can't deal with Nisan. But I know that if I find a month with the total opposite configuration, I get the opposite of Yashar. I get crookedness. And what month does that fall out on? The last month of the year. If the first configuration is Yud K Vav K, and there are 12, that means the last month of the year, which is what? Adar has to be the total opposite. K Vav Yud K. Right? If it goes straight, Yud K Vav K, then Yud Vav K K, then so on and so forth. It's going to be the last month. It's going to be the worst month. So, when, it's like you have that Russian roulette when you go to the gambling, and you have to throw the ball right either in the red or in the white. So when he was doing the lottery, Haman was a very expert gambler. He knew exactly which one to throw it in. Why did he do this with gambling? Sefer HaYashar, Kav HaYashar says whoever gambles sucks from the Sitra Achra. He wanted the Satan to be totally on his side. Totally. Because the Satan didn't really like Haman. Why? Haman already sold himself as a slave to Mordechai. So the Satan is like, why should I deal with this? I don't need this guy. I'll find a different vessel to work with. And we know when Haman used to go to the Sha'ar, Mordechai used to pick up his foot like this. He says, look, you might start bowing. Bow down. And Haman was infuriated. He was infuriated, didn't want to mess with Mordechai. Until his wife told him, make a gallows 50 amot. You think she picked the number 50 for nothing? Look in the Ben Yoyada for the Ben Ishchai. Why she picked the number 50 over there is Sodot Elyonim. So Haman picked the last month Adar on purpose. Hashem said, you're stupid, Haman. You're crazy. You think the months go straight. They don't go straight. They go in a circle. Sometimes if you want to be crooked with Hashem, you want to play with Hashem. I'm going to keep Shabbat. You know when? When my great-granddaughter gets married. Then I'm going to start keeping Shabbat. I'm going to stop shaving with a razor. When, when I grow hair on my palms. Hashem said, I'm also going to play crooked with you. That's what he told Haman. The months of the year go in a circular fashion. Do you know what the worst month for the Jews is? Tishrei. Because it's a circle. It's not straight, it's a circle. Tishrei, what do we have? Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot. Hashem blasted that month with good stuff. Adar, Hashem left empty. He said, Haman, I want you to make a mistake. Make it a mistake. When you gamble, I want you to gamble. You're going to fake gamble? It's like the person who gambles, he goes into the casino, he thinks he could read the cards. He doesn't know there are people watching on the cameras. They see him reading the cards. Hashem is like he's the guy on the cameras, you know what I'm saying? He's watching how he's reading the cards. You're not going to read the cards. The game is already set. Either you go full, or you go nothing. Haman thought he could be crooked with Hashem. Hashem made the months from a straight line to a circular line. The world isn't flat. It's round, Hashem said. And that was Haman's downfall. But it didn't work until there was a special woman. And we see something it's incredible. We don't pay attention. It's incredible. Every Jewish holiday, Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot, is male. It's all male. You have to go up to the Shalosh Regalim. Who has to go up? Male or female? Male. Everything is male. We only have 2 rabbinical holidays. 2 rabbinical holidays. Chanukah and Purim. And they all happen because of women. It's crazy. And the craziest thing was, Mordechai gave an impossible task to Esther. Impossible. He told the woman, don't talk. It's an impossible task. I mean, everybody here mostly is married. You ask a woman not to talk, it's either she makes a vow of Tani Dibur or it's nothing else. Even that, she probably doesn't have to write Nedarim. It's impossible. And not only was she silent, for years she didn't tell anybody what her name was, what country she was from, what family she was from. Only one time she opened her mouth. There was a wine party. She told Achashverosh, Im ala melech tov. If the king is okay with it, come to a party. She teaches us an amazing yesod. When you fight with the Satan, you don't fight straight. You have to fight him crooked. Why did she invite him to a wine party? And then she said, come tomorrow again. Just tell him your wish. And the first day. She wanted Haman to feel safe. She wanted Haman to feel comfortable. She wanted Achashverosh to feel loved. She wanted them to put their guards down. She kept quiet. It wasn't until she felt the Ruach HaKodesh, and she had Ruach HaKodesh. How do we know? Who wrote the Megillah? Is it called Megillat Mordechai or Megillat Esther? Megillat Esther. Who wrote it? Esther wrote it. She wrote it in Ruach HaKodesh. There's a famous midrash that says Moshe Rabbeinu was walking down the Har Sinai with a Megillah under his arm. Which Megillah? Megillat Esther. And she said, until I don't feel that Hashem is telling me, now is the time, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to talk. And where did she get that from? Where did she get that from? Her great-grandfather, Shaul HaMelech. Shaul HaMelech, when they chose him to be king, he was hiding. You know where? Under the table. No, I don't want to be king. He was quiet. Who did he get it from? His great-grandmother, Rachel Imenu. When her father, Lavan, took her sister, Leah, and switched, what did Rachel do? She was quiet. Anything we do is put it into our spiritual genetic code. And we give it to our kids, and our grandkids, and our great-grandkids, and our great-great-grandkids. That's what we say every day in the morning in the bracha of the Torah. V'tze'etzainu, v'tze'etza'ei tze'etzainu. Why am I praying for my grandkids? Am I going to raise my grandkids?
Who knows?
Who knows? But most likely, who's going to raise my grandkids? My kids! Why am I praying for my grandkids? You know what I heard? R.Shalom Hadayeh, the father of Ovadia Hadayeh, one of the biggest Mikubalim of Yeshivat Beit El, when he used to say this bracha, you know what he used to say? V'tze'etzainu, v'tze'etza'ei tze'etzainu, v'tze'etza'ei tze'etza'ei tze'etzainu, v'tze'etza'ei tze'etza'ei tze'etzaei tze'etzainu. He wouldn't stop. He would go for like 10 minutes. V'tze'etza'ei tze'etzainu, until he would lose count. He said, I'm not just going to pray for my grandkids, I'm going to pray to the end of generations. I want my spiritual genetic code to go to everyone. Siyag lechokhmah shtika. When Hashem says talk, then talk. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, if I was in Har Sinai, I would ask for 2 mouths. Why for 2 mouths? One to talk regular stuff, and one to talk Torah. Then he says to himself, wait a second, with 1 mouth I can control myself. It's okay, it's enough if I have 1 mouth. I'm not going to ask for 2. Imagine we would walk around with 2 mouths. For 1 second we want to talk, it will come out from here. 1 second it will come out from here. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Could you imagine that? The shtika. That's what saved us in Purim. Now I'm going to tell you something special.
I
didn't think you wanted me to. Now you tell
told
me I'm gonna.
You didn't talk about it. Did you hear it?
He did.
He's getting there.
He's getting there. Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
God bless you. So what happened? Rabotai. It says every person's name is hinted in the Torah. Every person's name. Where is Haman hinted in the Torah? Famous midrash. Haminaitz. From this tree. And what was that tree? Some say it was a grape tree. It was a vine tree. Right? It was grapes. Chava took grapes, squeezed it into a cup, and gave to Adam to drink. He got intoxicated. V'shalom al Yisrael. On Purim, Esther invited Haman to what? A wine party. Not to a whiskey party. Not to a vodka party, not to a bourbon party, not to a Smirnoff, I don't know what is this, Kiss Caramel party. He invited him to a wine party. Because to sweeten the judgment, you have to take the din and put it back where it came from. So she took Haman. Where did Haman come from? From that tree. What was that tree? The wine tree. And she took Haman and she invited him to what? A wine party! She said, Haman, stay with your wine. Let me take the Jews back. I could expound on this, but the rabbi is a bit getting on the short side. What does that have to do with my grandfather? Well, I'll tell you very simply. My grandfather was a very happy person. He was my sandak, as I said before the rabbi came in. And he always liked to drink and be merry and be happy. And he always used to say one special line. I was saving this for the end. Of course, there was complications. There was air turbulence in the middle. He always used to like to say, he was a very quiet person. He says, there's a time to be quiet, and there's a time not to be quiet. And he passed away 4 days before Purim. And he said, what does it mean at a time to be quiet, time not to be quiet? On Purim, Esther knew to be quiet. When Mordechai told her, don't be quiet, you better go back to Achashverosh, now was the time to talk. She said, okay, I'm going to talk now. I'm going to talk. I'm going to fast on Pesach, I'm going to talk. They fasted on Pesach, you know that? 3 days on Pesach, they fasted. And he said, there's a time to open your mouth. And we, the Bukharians over here, we're in this community for 30 years, since the early 80s. And I wanted to say that this is the month of V'nafochu. What's V'nafochu? Anything bad that you have in your life, this is the month that you could switch the cycle. Just like Haman thought that Adar was the month that it's going to be the downfall of the Jews because he thought it went linear. This is the month where Hashem is going to show, no, it's a circular pattern. It's 360. You're going to go back to Nisan. And there is a time to be quiet, and there's a time not to be quiet. When is the time not to be quiet? Mordechai, when he saw that the Jews were going to die, he took 250 kids, babies, and he took them into a yeshiva, and he made them read Tehillim, Mishnah, Gemara. When Haman saw that, he said, I'm not going to defeat him. That's the beginning of the downfall of Haman, the yeshivot. When it's the time to save yeshivot, we're not allowed to be quiet, Rabotai. And I have to do my part. There's a very special yeshiva. And I say this, maybe you make like a small thing to the people who just, there's some people who just go on the YouTube, watch for a minute, and they close it. So tell the people right there, forward to this moment. So I want to say that Esther talked. When did she talk? When there was a need to talk. And there's a need to talk right now. There is a yeshiva that's called Laman Achai. What's Laman Achai? For the sake of my brothers. That means I don't see a person as my father, my son. I'm equal to you. Laman Achai. For 21 years they've been taking Bukharian kids off the streets. Not just Bukharian kids. I had a kid. I remember I didn't have money to buy a wedding ring. And they gave me my first job as a biology teacher right after I got out of college. And I had an Ashkenazi kid in my class. Today he's learning in Morristown, upstate. He's a kid at Bakar Yeshiva. And they accepted every kind of kid, every kind of child. And they never said no to anyone. And the rabbi over there in charge, he's mamash, he doesn't even know what the word no means. And this yeshiva, after 21 years, which is the oldest yeshiva in Queens, the oldest. And this yeshiva went through Lev Leviev's hands. Tonight is the day of Avner Leviev, so may his chut, change something over here. And they went through everyone's hands. They went through every shul, Beit Gavriel, every single one. They were everywhere. And they're coming to a stop. Like, they just have nowhere else to go. Like, nowhere else. And there's 40 kids that used to be in public school. Not in different yeshivas, and they just jumped to a different yeshiva. They used to be in public school, Forest Hills High School. And these are kids that used to smoke marijuana, and they sell jewels, and they sell all these kind of devices, and all these kind of, and they come to the yeshiva, and suddenly these kids could tell you who the Rambam is, and they could tell you who the Maran is, and they could tell, at least the kids in my class, who the Bach is, and they'll tell you who the Mishnah Brura is, and they'll tell you what's Hilchot Shuvah, and they'll suddenly, they may not be able to read you a Gemara, but they'll certainly have Yirat Shamayim. And to see a school like this just totally collapse for lack of funding, this is a time to put into the account, say this is the time not to be quiet, this is the time to speak. And the school needs your support. And there is a dinner. I'm not telling you guys to give thousands, just to show your face, to show the world that people want to support this place. Say, I'm here and I acknowledge that you exist. Nothing more than that. I acknowledge that you exist. Am Yisrael, in time of the Holocaust, 6 million of us were extinguished by Julius Streicher. I don't want to say his name. All those Gunda Dile Samech Mem and his friends. And when they all were killed, 6 million of us were extinguished. Did we say, they were Ashkenazim? I'm Sfaradi, I'm in the back. My son goes to this yeshiva, I don't care about this. Rabotai, if you're hearing this, that means there's a reason you're hearing this. Let's just show our faces in support. There's a dinner that they're having on Tuesday, February 27th, the night of Tanit Esther. Come, support. Bring another kid to yeshiva. His mitzvot and his children's mitzvot and his children's mitzvot until the end of generation goes to your pocket. It's not a time to lose this opportunity. Take this opportunity. Take Esther's advice. Take Mordechai's advice. Speak when it's need to be speak. Quiet when it's time to be quiet. May Hashem bless us all with a happy Purim. Bracha, Batzlacha, B'chol Meid Meitav, Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'Amen.